But, you know, that was a random search. Not that they had trailed it from the port and said, no, we suspect this. It was a random search. So what if there was another one that took another route and then just went in?
Certainly, you cannot be 100% sure that some never went by undetected. The possibility is there. But I say, let's give it 50-50. That, yes, some might have slipped away, but this one that has been caught is also significant.
If some have slipped away, what should the FOU be doing now?
It's not just the customs alone now. It now interrogates the national security responses to this issue of small arms and light weapons. It's a very worrisome issue, knowing that the more these arms flow, and you know that in the times of arms, we have illicit and licit perspectives of arms, the arms trade. So most of the ones you find and being intercepted are illicit arms that are attempting to force their way into national territory. And that means that they will certainly go into wrong hands, because those arms are not tracked, they are not having any form of control, and it could reach some hands of interest groups that will keep them and use them at the appropriate time. And I suspect that as we approach 2019, this trend will continue.
There's a political angle to it, you mean? This is a political twist.
The probability is high that people are beginning to store arms to possibly use them.
We'll talk about maybe some of the conspiracy theories about the causative factors to this, because you talked about the ease with which they come into the country in your opening remarks. But let's get to Markwe. She's got a question for you. Markwe? Okay, that's not coming through yet.
Fears. Some people are wondering, is it ghosts that brought in this last shipment? Why is it so difficult to trail those who brought in the first one? I mean, they're only able to get the customs officers. Some of them are also wondering, you know, whether is this all towards the 2019 elections? These are all the fears. What are your thoughts, or how do you think that the Nigerian government can reassure people when they see this seizure of arms on television?
Thank you, Markwe. It can never be the activity of ghosts. It's human beings that do it. It's a network, it's a cartel, it's a syndicate of arms smugglers that are responsible for it. The government should just ensure that we step up vigilance at the ports. And remember that the seaports are just one aspect. We still have a vast land borders that are quite porous, as it were. And we have also airports. And of course, some areas that are difficult to police. So it's something that requires concerted effort on the part of all Nigerians, security agencies in all their dimensions should weigh in, and immediately they get information on this, the arms should be seized and then destroyed, because that's the international requirement. To seize arms, you ensure they are destroyed, not that they will be backloaded and used for other purposes.
No, but these ones have not been destroyed. The previous seizures have not been destroyed.
I don't have the facts, but that's what should happen at the end. If there's a case in court, for instance, until the case is dispensed of, the exhibits might not be destroyed.
Do you think there's a sincerity of purpose when the initial seizures had some officers involved in them?
And the officers to this time, we still haven't had anything.
I think Markwe still has a question.
Well, people are wondering, you know, why has it been so difficult to crack this investigative, this cartel which you talk about? Why is it so difficult? Do you have any ideas as to why it's been difficult to bring Because this seizure also happened with a shipment that came in from Turkey. Shouldn't we be doing some investigations with the Turkish authorities as well?
Well, like I said earlier on, the issue of national security is being interrogated here. Before you can do anything about it, at the level of the National Security Advisory, there must be some measures that needs to be taken. I am not privy to any that is ongoing right now, but I know that there is need for the NSA to step up measures to make sure that all they close down and close in on all those who have the arms that have been seized, the ones that have been arrested, and the domain of impunity is also another thing. The moment you punish some people who have been caught, and then they are disciplined or sent to jail, or they are punished according to the law, you will find out that others will begin to avoid going that way.
Okay, I think we can take it from. I'm just wondering because, you know, when you say the ease with which some of these things come into the country, many will then ask you, could you shed some more light on that? This wasn't the case previously. Why now?
That's exactly what I said at the beginning, that it indicates that there is a higher demand for the use of the arms. You know, the point is that small arms by themselves are harmless if they are not used by anybody, except, of course, they explode when they are stored or something. But the moment it gets to untrained hands, the moment it gets to the hands of armed groups, and they might use it for any purpose. It's the same weapon that are being used for kidnappings, the same weapon that are used for armed robbery, the same weapons that are used for virtually all the major crimes that now paint our landscape on daily basis. Without the proliferation of arms, you will find that most of the activities will be limited. And then the incidence of kidnapping, theft, all these kind of embarrassing crime situations will reduce.
We're interested in you telling us, because I mean you look into these matters, you've researched on this issue severally. What do you think is the reason why this is coming? Why is there a demand? And why in 2017?
As it were, we are midterm in the political landscape. And of course, we are heading towards 2019. And the race towards 2019 doesn't start in 2019. It starts about now. You can see there's an upbeat in political activities right now. And of course, similarly, those who will foment trouble, who are grouped as troublemakers, will make sure that they use this window where they think that the security provider threshold is still a bit low.
Is it just for elections? We've had several elections. Why is this one different?
It might just not be for elections alone. It might be for other purposes, which is may gradually unwind itself.
Have you seen any trace? What can you link it to possibly?
It will be linked to a possibility of a likely armed struggle in the future.
Armed struggle?
Yes.